talking about radiation in the news today, the question mark in Japan is, what are the real risks for the people living there, particularly, Tokyo and places that are quite close to.
Sure. Let me talk about that. Yeah. So, in fact, a lot of research was done on the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So, if you were there, you might have been subject to radiation burns because basically the nuclear chemistry of radiation literally burns you. It will generate physical energy that will combust your organs, including most obviously skin. If you survive that, you get through the acute phase. Your next big risk is cancers, each of which occurs at a distinctively different point in time over the decades following. So each cancer has its different spike in the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, people in Tokyo are at zero risk, or very close to zero risk, unless they really screw up in those troubled nuclear reactors. I would say they're at almost zero risk of being subject to the blast and immediate radiation effects of an atomic explosion, the way people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were. Secondly, they might be subject to a minor elevation in their risk of some cancers. Those will be delayed effects. The third point that I want to make about the residents of Tokyo and, of course, human populations in general is when you're exposed to more radiation, it's not only you yourself who potentially suffers, it's also future generations as yet unborn. Because you may be generating mutations in the cells that will be used to produce the gametes that will combine to generate offspring. And those, what are called germline mutations, germ referring to the eventual production of offspring, or the germinal function. Germline mutations can have bad effects for not just the next generation, but many generations to come. It is not usually going to be the case. It will almost never be the case that these mutations will be beneficial. Mutations are generally bad when they have any detectable effect at all. There are a lot of mutations where you have changes in DNA sequences that have no effect on you somatically or any of your offspring. We call those neutral mutations. Most mutations that are not neutral are deleterious, the vast majority. A minuscule fraction, astronomically rare fraction of mutations will be beneficial, and then the benefits will be relatively small, not huge, wonderful benefits.